Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Ruby Gill, and I feel honored to welcome you all on the behalf of lovely professional university for taking a keen part in today's webinar entitled as Masters in Engineering at LPU. So attendees, I'm sure that you all will feel enriched with the knowledge after the completion of today's webinar. So kindly allow me to introduce our experts. It's my privilege to welcome the man of distinct vision and fountainhead of illuminating ideas, Dr. Laviraj Gupta, Pro Vice Chancellor, Lovely Professional University. He holds a PhD in bioinformatics. He did his MTech in computer-aided design and interactive graphics from IIT Kanpur. Having flair for endless learning, he has done more than 50 plus certifications and specializations from University of California at Irvine, Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, Deep Learning AI, and Google Machine Learning Group. His research interests are in the areas of robotics, mechatronics, bioinformatics, Internet of Things, AI and ML using TensorFlow and gamification. Talking about his accolades and laurels, in 2001, he was appointed as Assistant Controller, Technology, Ministry of IT, Government of India by the Honorable President of India in the Office of Controller of Certifying Authorities. In 2013, he was accorded the role in the National Advisory Board for What Can I Give mission, Kalam Foundation of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. In 2011, he received the MIT Technology Review Grand Challenge Award, followed by the coveted Infosys InfoMaker Award in the year 2016. And recently, he has collaborated with Stanford University for a research project as well. And he has also been nominated as the chairman to ESOCAM, North Region Council for Innovation. He has authored 7 books on IoT, mobile robotic platforms, biomedical sensors, and machine learning and data analytics. He has, to his credit, 150 plus patents. So, sir, it's a privilege to have you on board with us today. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Ms. Ruby. Thank you.
Additionally, I would like to welcome our admission expert, Mr. Neera Sharma, Senior Officer, Lovely Professional University. With an experience of 15 years, his expertise lies in business development, marketing, and product promotion. And attendees today, he'll give you an insight of eligibility, fee, and scholarship, which I'm sure will make you save a lot of money. And in addition to that, we'll also be discussing about the infrastructure part of the university. So thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you.
So with this, we'll begin our today's webinar. So I welcome you all once again to the webinar and hope that you all will have a great interaction with our experts. So over to you, Dr. Laviraj Gupta, sir, for the content of the day.
Sure. Get me the rights of sharing the screen, please.
Yes, sir. I have already provided you, sir.
Sure. So, very good afternoon to everybody present over here. When we say that the theme of today's interaction is Masters in Engineering, we need to understand that now we are wanting to rise up the ladder. When I say rise up the ladder, I'm very clear that now from your graduation, you are heading towards your post-graduation. So you are into the next level of education scenario. I'll give you a picture because I am correlating your wish and will to join Masters in Engineering as rising up or as moving on to the next level of the learning game. Let us look to what various levels of learning you have passed by up till now. The level 1 is termed as the primary level. The level 2 is the secondary level, which you are basically doing it during your class 1 to class maybe 12th, and then finally you moved on to your graduation level. So you moved on from primary level to secondary level to tertiary level, and now you have decided to move on to the quaternary level of it, and that is nothing but the post-graduation or the study which is more specialized, which is more oriented towards a goal of attaining something different. I'll give you an example. That in the primary level of your learning, you are more into what? Using games, or using systems, or using basically some mechanisms which you are working on. Some toy oriented learnings were there, be it actually learning ABCD, be it counting, be whatever it is. It was more towards toy driven learning was there. And then what happened was, then there came the books into picture. The second level of your learning, that was the secondary level, was more focused and more centric to books and book oriented or literature oriented study. Then you moved on to the next level, that is the tertiary level, your graduation, wherein it became more lab intensive, more experiential and experiment oriented kind of learnings which happen, be it in terms of coding, extendable or extended coding which you are doing in your graduation, or you are creating some circuits, or you are doing some experiments in mechanical engineering, or you are doing some kind of site visits and surveying in civil engineering. You're doing some kind of extended lab work during your tertiary education, which is your graduation form. And now once you're moving to the quaternary form of it, the entire scenario of the learning would change and would focus around critical thinking and creative thinking. Because from toys to books to labs, you have already experienced the various forms and the various means of learning. Now you need to actually comprehend, you need to aggregate, you need to blend, you need to put together the book, the labs, the toy oriented learning together. And now you'll have to focus on the creative thinking part of it and the design thinking or critical thinking part of it. The basic explanation of critical thinking is, and design thinking is, that you are first looking to answer to a question is, then you are looking to an answer to the question of should, and then you are looking to the answer of will. The is would be all around operations. The should would all be around the strategy, what kind of strategies you form. And the will would be answered by the tactics. This is nothing but the project management, and this is nothing but the confluence or the intersection between will, that is tactics, and should, that is strategy, becomes the design strategy sweet spot. This is now going to be the entire tenet, the entire percept of your next level, which I always call that, because now you are moving on to the higher level of learning. Herein, the cycle of all your thoughts, bundle of all what you do would be around, you'll begin by raising certain questions. You're doing research, or you're doing some kind of master's thesis in electronics, then you have to raise a particular question. For that particular question, you need to gather information around. Once you have gathered the information around, you'll have to generate the ideas. Once you have raised the question, gathered the information, generate the ideas, then you'll have to actually consider the alternatives. Because here you might be generating multiple ideas together, and then you'll have to look to the alternatives, that this idea may not be viable, this idea may not be viable. So you consider various alternatives put together, and then finally you reach to the conclusion. This would be the end, not the end. I will always call it as beginning of the new era of your critical thinking, design thinking, which is actually summing up as a dissertation for your master's thesis. And then you communicate effectively, meaning thereby you write your thesis very well, you publish your thesis very well, and then you present your thesis during your end-term viva or your during final viva for your masters. You do it so well. I'll show you I'm going to represent a very small video. Look, all the things which I've talked about has been answered or has been very well depicted here. That you raise a question that you want to pluck or you want to pick apples from a tree. You raise certain questions. How to reach to the apples? Is the question novel? You frame the questions from the different perspectives, and then you gather the information, related information around. Now that information can be in terms of literature, that information can be in terms of a website, that information can be in terms of journals. You address the contradictions in the information. Once the information is available to you, you start generating ideas. Now, the idea is that you can have a scoop, you can have a clutcher, you can have a basket, or even you can have maybe a vacuum cleaner to pick the apples, and then you actually modulate your thinking process. You modulate various and create various alternatives. You evaluate the interpretations. You look to that if I use a scoop to pluck the apples, you are actually going to break the branches of the tree. So this alternative is easier, but it has got its own challenges. If you use a ladder posted on a trolley, then instability becomes one of the biggest challenges. This is how you are generating ideas and evaluating them. If you are using a clutcher, then you might actually squeeze the apple at any given point of time. If you're using a vacuum cleaner, then the apples may be squeezed. Then finally what you do is you look out for all the possibilities. You really look out for all the possibilities and try to create something new, something more logical, something aligned with the constraints which came into your mind. And then finally you communicate that I've designed a newer form of it, that it will be plugged or picked up by, and then you basically present this idea in form of maybe publications, in form of maybe patents, in form of maybe copyrights, and then finally you reach to the end of your basically master's degree. That is what I call it as reaching to the next level. The video which I've shown is a little older video. It really summarizes the critical and creative thinking. It really summarizes that how you can use the basic ideology of capturing the literature or capturing the data based on the raised questions, finally creating some designs, and then working on the alternatives of those designs, and finally creating a final design and then communicating. There are two things which are lagging actually in this particular video, which are of prime importance and which are of preeminence in today's context and in today's form. The very first thing is you'll have to collaborate. Once you are actually moving on to your master's in engineering, you'll have to think of collaboration, because the world of next level, which you're talking about, the quaternary level of learning, is completely based on collaboration. That how do you create a team, how do you create a trust in that team, how do you motivate people around you to participate in your work as well. Your creativity would be limited and restricted to you as an individual only, but then you'll have to collaborate with people so that you can get ideas, various ideas from different areas, different people, and then come up with a better solution to a thing. The second thing, which was not covered in that particular video, is the transdisciplinary approach. People have moved on from disciplinary approach to multidisciplinary approach to interdisciplinary approach, and now they are talking about transdisciplinary approach. You'll have to work on that. I'll explain this transdisciplinary approach to you a little more. See, in a disciplinary or a silos approach, a particular discipline works in silo, in in complete disassociation with the other disciplines. Say, for example, you're going to work on electronics, or you're going to work on mechanical. You're solely working on mechanical. The multidisciplinary approach associates, bring closer the other disciplines. The interdisciplinary approach creates a bond between two disciplines. Maybe a mechanical engineering individual is bonding now with electronics, so that he's creating something around mechatronics. But in transdisciplinary approach, the blend is absolutely perfect. Means your solution is not belonging to a specific discipline. Your solution, or what kind of alternatives you have thought in your mind, are not belonging to a specific or set discipline. It has a perfect blend of other disciplines also. If you're in electronics, you're devising a circuit for, or devising a data capture sensor. It has to be blended evenly with the computer science or logic or algorithms of programming language. Another explanation of transdisciplinary approaches: the disciplinary would have all the fruits separately placed into the basket, which is this disciplinary approach. In multidisciplinary, they are together, but they are actually not actually, they are separated out by some patterns or areas. This is the multidisciplinary approach. In interdisciplinary approach, you are actually mending them together, blending them together, and mixing them together. This is the interdisciplinary approach. But in transdisciplinary approach, as it is mentioned over here, that you are having a perfect blend. The entire fruits are blended so that they become inseparable. In all the three aspects here, they are separable in nature. Means you can separately say that this particular MTech dissertation or Masters in Engineering dissertation belongs to a particular discipline. It may have some kind of association with other disciplines also. But when you are working on a transdisciplinary approach, you have to have a perfect blend so that it becomes inseparable. There are certain classic wins. I'm going to talk about these classic wins. These classic wins are worldwide. They all have come up from masters programs of engineering. The very first classic win, I'm going to talk about the global classic wins, and then I'm going to talk about some classic wins at LPU as well. Earlier, the fins or the blades of the aircraft were straight at the end. The master students, they actually collaborated together, and now what they have done is they have created a sharklet. They are also known as the winglets at the end, and the wings at the end are now inclined, which has resulted in small vortex at the end. And believe me, this has reduced the fuel consumption to an extent while flying the aircraft and increased the stability of the flight. Why I'm talking about this, that this is an outcome of a master's thesis work being done in the engineering. Another outcome of a master's thesis work is that now people are talking about child AI, people are talking about baby AI, an artificial intelligence model or algorithm being developed by a human-made AI algorithm which has got no human intervention. This is again an outcome or output of a master's work in engineering. Why can't you as an individual reach out to that particular transdisciplinary, collaborative, co-creating kind of an approach and do wonders? Another example, look to this video. We all might have seen this video. Now this video talks about a technology. This video is a perfect example of a technology. Now this technology, as we call it, as I'll let the video complete, I'll let you know what this technology is all about. See, the individual is blurring the background, and this blurring the background is known as bokeh mode. Now each and every mobile which you carry would have this bokeh mode so that you can blur the background. This is an outcome of a master's thesis done by a student. This is where the quaternary level, this is where the masters or in engineering reach out to and create solutions, society-oriented solutions. Some classic wins at LPU are that the students from post-graduation and undergraduation, they came up together, and it's a perfect mix of automobile people coming together, electronics people coming together, of automobile, electronics, mechanical, and these solar energy kind of people, and computer science people. They all came together to form an autonomous solar bus. Now this bus runs in the campus, runs on a solar power, making it eco-friendly, and is an autonomous vehicle. This can only be made possible by two things. One is the transdisciplinary approach and the maturity of postgraduate students who are doing or who were doing the masters in engineering. The second example of classic win at LPU is this drone. It has got whole load of participation, blended participation, the transdisciplinary participation from aerospace, mechanical, electronics, for computer vision, then computer science and agriculture. The master students from all the disciplines, they came together and created a drone which sprinkles VD side, identifying the VD side in and around only. So it is reducing the consumption of the VD side. It is targeting to the VD side with no ill effects on the crop, and it is negating the human intervention for VD side being sprinkled into the discipline. The basic crux when you are planning or when you are moving ahead for your quaternary learning level, that is, you are moving on to your master's level, the basic intent or the basic expectation is that you need to think big. You need to think benign, think original, think for something which people might have just simply heard about, and you are actually thinking. You are including critical thinking, design thinking, and everything put together and giving solutions. And the third most important thing is you'll have to think beyond what people are comprehending for the present state of technology, for the present state of work, or for the present state of the scenario. You'll have to think beyond. I welcome you to this world of think big, think benign, and think beyond. Thank you so much. I'm open for any kind of question and answer.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this quite informative presentation, and I believe attendees must have gained a lot, and from this they will approach the course accordingly. Thank you so much, sir. So yes, sir, we have few queries from our attendees. So with your permission, can we take up those queries, sir?
Please go ahead.
So there is a query from Ekta. She wants to know that if I focus on a specific specialization for my classes, can I receive the degree in that area?
See, the basic design of the master's program would give you an opportunity to pick and choose your specialization. And then the emphasis of the courses and the thesis or the dissertation work which you're going to do would be around that specialization only. So we'll give you an opportunity, we'll let you decide an opportunity. And now in masters, the dissertation is not for last 2 terms or last term only. The dissertation is now spread across for all 4 terms, wherein in first semester you can decide your theme, you can decide your thrust area, you can decide your theme, and so on and so forth. In second semester you can do the rigorous literature review and survey, and then decide on the title and the topic.
Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take up another query, and that query is from Mega. She wants to know that what are the main factors are there to focus on when applying for masters, and why LPU? Why they should choose LPU only?
LPU is because LPU will give you opportunity for 4 things. One is We'll give you the platforms so that whatsoever you are thinking big can be realized, not just simply in terms of a written thesis, but in terms of publications, patents, and maybe who knows that those patents or copyrights they get converted into products. Second, the kind of faculty, the kind of expertise with the faculty available, you'll find it absolutely possibly nowhere. The third important thing, the kind of labs, the kind of infrastructure we have. We have got, all the best of the categorization equipments with us, like powder, XRD, SEM, TEM kind of thing are available. So it gives you a lot of opportunity. And fourth very important thing is that you'll have industry inclusivity. You'll be made to interact with industry experts so you can understand where the industry is going, and thus you can carve yourself, you can hone your skills based on the industry's expectation.
Definitely, sir. I completely agree with you. And sir, moving on to the next query. There's a query from Gurasi. She wants to know that seeing the trend, students with bachelor's degree are getting huge packages. So what would be the motivation to do the masters?
See, masters would always give you a cut above the rest, because it is not just simply people are looking to bachelors or undergraduate students. They are wanting some specialized hands also, because in bachelors it's a very general form of skills which you gather. But as I said, that the master students would always score higher on creative thinking, design thinking, and critical thinking. That is what my entire dialogue was on, no? So you have better prospects than the undergraduate students. The only thing is your thesis should be globally accepted. Your work should be of a kind that, see, I was talking about an example of Bokeh Mode. Do you think that people who have developed Bokeh Mode or solar autonomous car would get lesser package than any of the undergraduate students? No, they'll get far, far more and far, far beyond packages, because their technology is meaningful and viable and feasible.
Thank you, sir. So, there's another query from Hemant Bhai Chaudhary. He wants to know that in ME, will there be a practical knowledge also?
Of course, of course. When I said critical thinking and design thinking, I talked about that also. No? That level 1 was toys, level 2 was books, level 3 was labs, and level 4 is more lab intensive, more experiential. You'll experience things more in whatsoever discipline you do.
Thank you, sir. So, we'll take up the last but not the least query from Good Kamaljeet. He wants to know that how can I be able to stay self-motivated throughout the course dealing with the critical subjects?
See, motivation would always be the kind of CAs you are going to get, the kind of assignments you are going to get, the kind of work that your supervisor is going to allocate. They're all very exciting. They are all very. You'll have to take them as passion of yours, and you'll be motivated by yourself. Go and read things around your area of interest, around the theme, around the thrust area which you have defined. Look to videos that what people are doing globally, and that will motivate you. And we at LPU, the course contents would be quite motivating. That's I'm very sure of.
Surely, sir. And attendees, I would tell you, I was the student of this university. So the faculty over here will also help you to keep you self-motivated and boost you with the energy to be focused with your study. So thank you so much, sir, for resolving all the queries. And attendees, those who are asking for the e-certificates, see, this is a platform where we are providing you a kind of interaction with our higher officials for the more clarification of the program. So this is for the prospective students of prospective students, those who are going to come to a university as a students. So I'm so sorry to inform that we are not providing e-certificates for this. Thank you so much, everyone. And now we'll quickly move to our admission expert, Mr. Neera Sharma. So, sir, over to you for the admission part of the university.
Ms. Ruby, I'm here only so that if there is any query by the end, I can resolve that query as well.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. And first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Laviraj sir for the valuable information. So directly not going to the presentation first. First, I would like to brief you a little bit about LPU first, and accordingly, then we'll proceed further for the presentation. So if you talk about LPU, Lovely Professional University, we are India's largest private university in terms of area and number of students on a single campus. So we have only one campus in India, which is situated in Fagwara, which is close to Jalandhar. And this is a huge campus. You can see the picture behind me, right? This is the view of the campus, right? And this campus is spread over more than 600 acres of land. It's such a big campus that if you talk about strength, we have more than 30,000 students who are studying here, and they are from 50 different countries. So you can very well imagine that if people are coming from 50 different countries to this campus, that shows that we are far better in terms of placements, in terms of curriculum we are teaching, and of course in terms of faculties we have, and the overall environment is far better in comparison to our competitors. So if you talk about facilities, we have each and every facility available within the campus. Like we have a huge mall there, we have a hospital, there are separate hostel facilities for boys and girls which are 100% secure. We have a very big indoor stadium, banks, ATMs, post office, food courts. So each and every facility which a student needs in a day-to-day life is available within the campus itself. Now moving to the presentation, right? My very first slide, it says that yes, this is the laurels which were brought by the students of LPU. So 13 LPU students who participated in Tokyo Olympic Games in 2020, and we feel proud to say that 10% of the Indian Olympic participation was from LPU students. And you can see in the picture none other than Neeraj Chopra, who brought gold medal in the individual event of javelin throw, right? And our hockey team members, including the Indian hockey team captain, they were students of LPU. Then another feather in our cap, that LPU team lifts runners-up trophy at Khelo India University Games, and it was presided over by the Honorable Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah, along with Sports Minister Mr. Anurag Thakur, who awarded the runners-up trophy to LPU team at Khelo India University Games. And we have brought good number of medals, like 17 were gold, 19 were bronze, and 15 were silver medals in the competition. Now talking a little bit about rankings. Now there are different agencies, different magazines which have given rankings to LPU. Like if I talk about Times Higher Education Impact Rankings of 2022, we have been placed at 74th position globally, which is a very big benchmark. And if I talk about the Times Higher Education World University Rankings 2022, again LPU has been ranked at 36th position among top universities of India. And if I individually talk about subject-wise rankings, we are second in business and economics, 8th in clinical and health, 9th in computer science, and 10th in engineering. If I talk about Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements, again LPU has been ranked 3rd in India, which is a very big achievement, right? Now coming to the campus life and exposure offered at our campus in LPU. So what a student can expect once he or she reaches campus. So the very first slide shows that yes, none other than Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, he was the chief guest, he was the one who inaugurated Indian Science Congress in 2019. Then none other than His Holiness Dalai Lama, he was part of the event at LPU. Then you can see in the next slide that there were two former presidents, one president of ex-president of India and ex-president of Afghanistan. They were both available at LPU campus in one of the convocations. Then late Finance Minister of India, Shri Arun Jaitley ji, he was the one who inaugurated LPU Startup School. Then Gohar Gopal Das, the spiritual guru, he was here at our campus and he shared his life experiences with students and faculty members. Then none other than the Bollywood personality, Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone, you name them and you will find them at our campus in LPU. Then you can see on the screen MS Dhoni, right? He was here to again share his life experiences with our students. Then if I talk about infrastructure, right, you can see on the screen that these are the inside view of the campus, the 14 blocks back to back, including the library and the ECE department here. Then this is the auditorium we have with a capacity of 2,500. Then this is the mall which I was talking about. This is again a part of our campus. Then this is the inner view of the mall. The fully automated library which we have, where a student can come and study 24/7 fully. Then these are the recreational facilities available within the campus. You can see the bowling area, then the gymnasium, and of course I told you we do have a big hospital also, which is a 25-bedded hospital and a dental chair within the campus itself. The inner view of the hospital. Then again we do have a very big indoor stadium. So in the indoor stadium we have different games available. The Olympic size swimming pool is there. We do have badminton, volleyball, basketball, squash courts available, and of course a gun shooting range is also available within the indoor stadium. Then this is the panoramic view of our campus, the night view. So now quickly I'll take you to the website. So please do remember that you have to visit our website, which is lpu.in. So any student who wants to have a look at the programs, their eligibility criteria and the other details, they need to visit our website, which is lpu.in. On the very first page you'll find a tab by the name admissions. So when you click on this, on the extreme left hand side you can have a look at the LPU's Edu-Fair webinars also. So any student who want to go through the webinars, which are the upcoming webinars, if he wants to participate in the webinars, and the ones which have already been discussed earlier, he can go through the webinars from this click. But otherwise, if you want to go to the details of the program, you need to select the program. Somebody looking for after 12th undergraduate programs, these are the links, and the ones who are looking for after graduation, like today we were discussing about postgraduate program. So I'll just click on this regular program link and you will find the different streams available. So according to your area of interest and your eligibility, you need to click on that particular program. Like we were discussing about engineering. So if I'm interested for PG in engineering, I'll click on this and I'll come across all the streams which are available in masters. And if I'm interested, for example, in computer science and engineering, I'll click on this and I'll have the programs available under computer science. Like we do have computer science and engineering, MTech, then machine learning and artificial intelligence, and so on. So if I'm interested in BTech, MTech, CSE, which is a 2 years program with 4 semesters, for more details, I'll click on this link and I'll find each and every detail available here on the website. Like what is the eligibility criteria for this to get admission, that you need to have 60% aggregate marks in BTech, which should be CSE or information technology or ECE and so on, right? Along with that, even MCA or MSc IT students can also apply, provided you should qualify either of our test, which is LPU NEST. This is in-house test of LPU, or GATE, which is a national level test. So you have to qualify one test either GATE or LPU Nest with 60% aggregate marks in your graduation in the same field, right? So this is the eligibility criteria. So similarly, the key highlights and other things available. Along with that, you can have a look at the curriculum details also. Like in the first year, what all subjects will be taught in the autumn break and what all will be taught in the spring term. These are available here. And of course, the fee structure and the scholarship slab. Even the elective subjects offered in the curriculum, these are available. You can have a look at these details. Then coming to the fee part. Now, if I talk about the fee for Masters and Tech, it is 1,20,000 per semester without any scholarship. But we are giving very good scholarships which have been divided into different categories. Like a student can win scholarship on the basis of our test, which is called LPU Nest. So any student who clears the test and the result falls in bracket 3, because the scholarships are divided into 3 parts. One is bracket 3, bracket 2, bracket 1. So if your scholarship falls in category 3, you will get 35% scholarship and the applicable fee will be 78,000 per semester. And if you are lucky to get 45% scholarship, category 2, then fee will be 66,000 per semester. And if you are lucky to get bracket 1 scholarship, 55% scholarship will be given to you and the applicable fee will be 54,000 per semester. So similarly, there are other categories also, like on the basis of your last 2 qualifications also, you can claim scholarships, right? So for a postgraduate, the last 2 qualification means you can look for your percentage in graduation also, and of course in your 12th class, right? So let's say somebody who scores, there is a condition that if somebody scores 70% and above in graduation, then you are eligible for a particular scholarship. Similarly, to claim a scholarship on the basis of your 12th percentage, you need to have at least 80% marks in 12th. So accordingly, there are slabs, like you can see here, that if I'll take an example of graduation percentage, that if the percentage is between 70 to 79.99, a student will be eligible for 35% scholarship. Similarly, if the percentage is between 80 to 89.99, you get 45% scholarship, and if it is 90% and above, you get 55% scholarship. Similarly, on the basis of 12th percentage also, you can get your scholarships also. So there are other categories also through which scholarships are given to the students. So accordingly, do remember that you will be provided only one scholarship, and what we'll do is we'll compare all the categories in which a student is eligible for scholarship. Let's say there is a student who is eligible in 3 different categories for scholarship. So at the time of admission, we'll compare all the 3 categories, but we'll see that in which category he or she is getting the best scholarship. So the best one will be given to that student. And there is another good thing in LPU, that whatever scholarship you get in your very first semester, that gets carried forward for the complete program. Now it's a 2 years degree. So let's say you win a particular scholarship in your first semester, that scholarship will be applicable for all 2 years, all 4 semesters. You need not have to apply for scholarship test again and again. Okay. So now these are the other scholarship categories through which a student can win the scholarships, right? Then scholarships on the basis of GATE also. So we'll look for the percentile in the GATE. Accordingly, in the GATE percentile, a student can win scholarship. Like in case of GATE percentile, if it is between 85 to 89.99, student gets 35% scholarship. If the percentile in GATE is 90 to 95, you get 45%. And if the percentile is more than 95, you get 55% scholarship. So these are the different categories through which scholarships are provided to the students. Now, the most important thing is that how to apply for the test. Somebody who's looking for LPU Nest, so you need to go to our portal, which is admission.lpu.in. So you'll visit this portal. You will have to register yourself by giving the basic details like your name, your contact number, email ID, city, state. So once you fill the details, you will submit it, and immediately our system will generate a link which will be sent to you on your mobile also and your registered email ID also. So you'll click on that link, you'll further fill some more details, you will save them, and you'll continue, and you'll reach the dashboard of the site, which is admission.lpu.in. So once you reach the dashboard, you'll find a tab, orange color tab, where it will be written LPU Nest application form. So you click on that tab, you'll further give your information step by step, and then one of the steps, the system will ask you to pay the fee for this test. So for boys, the LPU Nest test fee is 1000 rupees, and for girls it is 500. So after paying that fee, you have an option to book the slot for your exam for yourself, because in nowadays LPU is giving an option that you can appear for the exam while sitting at home. We call it a remotely proctored test from home. You need not have to go anywhere outside to any exam center. So you'll sit at home, you'll appear for the exam online with your, you should be live with your web cameras and other things. So once you are live, so you can appear for the exam, and you have to book the slot of the date and time, and accordingly you'll appear for the exam. So once it is done, so after 24 hours the result will be out, and you can proceed for admission later on. Similarly, there are other important dates which you need to remember, that the last date for submission of LPU Nest application is 30th of June. So all those students who are looking to apply for a master's program and are interested to appear for LPU Nest test, they need to register them latest by 30th, which is the last date. So once the registration is done, the last date of exam which you can get is 5th of July. Because the dates which the system will show you to book the slot cannot exceed 5th July, because that is the last date of the exam. So accordingly, as I told you, after 24 hours the result will be out, and you will further proceed for admission immediately within 7 days of declaration of the result, provided that the last date should not be exceeded, which is 10th of July. Now there's a last point which I want to show you, is that in case if any student is interested and want to go directly and want to contact us, you can either visit our site, which is lpu.in, www.lpu.in. Then we have an email ID, which is admissions@lpu.co.in, and of course you can give us a call on these numbers also, which is 01824 517 000 and 404404. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Have a nice day. Take care. Over to you, Ruby ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for the detailed information about the admission part. So with this, we'll conclude today's webinar. So I would like to express my appreciation to the experts for their valuable contribution to a webinar on the topic Masters in Engineering at LPU. And my deepest gratitude goes to all who attended this webinar and helped to make it such a successful one. And experts, I'm sure your years of research, your years of experience will definitely help the audience to choose the right path. So till next time, I, Ruby Gill, finally sign off. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.